Take a deep breath in through your nose. What can you smell? Or more importantly, why can you smell? The process of smelling, or olfaction, is an incredibly complex yet ingenious mechanism which scientists have been trying to figure out for many years, and in this video I'll be describing it in part by exploring the structure and function of the olfactory epithelium, the relationship between taste and smell, and some of the diseases that can arise within the olfactory system. The human nose can distinguish between over 1 trillion different scents, which is more than 1,000 times the world's population. It all starts when you take a sniff of, let's say, garlic. Love it or hate it, most people can smell it a mile off. The smell is made up of a number of different chemicals which travel up as gases through your nasal cavity, either through your nose or mouth. The air is warmed and moistened, whilst curved bones shaped like a shell, called nasal conchae, direct chemical smells within the air towards the site of scent recognition, the olfactory epithelium. This is where the magic happens. The olfactory epithelium is a specialised layer of tissue about 3 square centimetres in size, situated on the roof of the nasal cavity, about 7 centimetres above and behind the nostrils, comprising 3 different types of cells: supporting cells in red, basal cells in green, and receptor cells in blue. All 3 work together to help us detect smells. Supporting cells are scattered among the receptor cells, providing support to them and the epithelium in general. They also produce proteins called enzymes that detoxify potentially dangerous chemicals that may damage the epithelium. Basal cells are stem cells. That means that they start off with all of the basic materials that could allow them to have any function. These stem cells, however, grow into more olfactory receptor cells, as the olfactory receptor cells are sensitive and can be easily damaged and therefore need replacing. In humans, receptor cells are replaced about every 60 days, and are the only type of nervous tissue in the body that can regenerate. Just underneath the olfactory epithelium is a layer of mucus secreted by a group of cells called the Bowman's gland, where the chemicals dissolve so that it can be recognised. This mucus layer also contains antibodies, which is the body's primary defence system, that kill any harmful germs taken in with your breath. The chemicals are actually detected by olfactory receptor cells, coloured in blue. The olfactory epithelium contains more than 100 million olfactory receptor cells, each one detecting a specific type of smell. These cells have little hairs called cilia with proteins attached to them. Chemicals bind to the proteins, generating an action potential, which is basically just an electrical current that relays information to the brain and throughout the body. The electrical current is transmitted along the length of the olfactory nerve, which is the nerve that travels from your nose to your brain. The olfactory nerve ends up in the olfactory bulb, which is the part of your brain that deals with anything smell related. Receptor cells, triggered by chemicals with similar shape, all come together in a structure called a glomerulus. It's basically the olfactory system's way of sorting out the different kinds of smells. All this information about particular smells will then travel from the glomerulus inside the olfactory bulb to 2 different parts of the brain, one which handles conscious thought processing, so you recognise the presence of the smell, and the other which generates emotional feelings and memories. This is why certain smells can sometimes remind you of a past experience or feeling. Next time this happens to you, thank your olfactory memory. Like the way your food tastes? This is mostly down to your olfactory epithelium as well. Taste buds allow us to distinguish between sweet and sour, for example, but it's our sense of smell that allows us to taste more subtle flavours. Try eating vanilla ice cream with your nose pinned shut. You could taste that it's sweet, but you probably couldn't work out that it was vanilla. Many diseases can arise within the olfactory system. One of the more common ones is anosmia, which is a full loss of your sense of smell. It can be caused by a number of factors, from a simple temporary cold to more serious and permanent damage to the essential nerve pathways from the nose to the brain. A worsening sense of smell often comes with aging. Research shows that a reduced sense of smell is present in over 50% of individuals aged between 65 and 80, and in 62 to 80% of those over the age of 80. Olfactory dysfunction is a common symptom associated with the early stages of some neurodegenerative diseases, such as Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's, and therefore can aid in their diagnosis. However, a lot more research needs to be done before olfactory dysfunction can be used to officially diagnose these conditions. Recent research has shown that there is a link between the amount of air pollution inhaled and the development of neurodegenerative diseases. When polluted air is inhaled, minute particles, called nanoparticles, are deposited into the olfactory epithelium and taken up to the olfactory bulb. Research around this topic is in its early stages, but could prove very useful in the future, as atmospheric pollution is steadily increasing. Research has also been done into the transplantation of cells from the olfactory bulb, called olfactory and sheathing cells, into patients with complete spinal cord injury. When added to a scar-reducing compound and transplanted into the spinal cord, the olfactory and sheathing cells encourage the regeneration of nerve cells from within the spinal cord. Studies using rats showed that this method caused enough reparation of the spinal cord for the rats to regain movement and sensation, and further studies done on humans show that the transplantation caused no major side effects after a year, deeming the operation safe. On the screen I've put a link to a BBC News article showing an example of this groundbreaking technology, if you're interested and want to learn more about it. The amount of olfactory receptor cells changes in different animals depending on how heavily they rely on their sense of smell. Humans have less than 1,000 receptors, as some of them were lost during evolution since we no longer have to hunt for our food. Fish, who are much less dependent on their olfactory system, only have 100 olfactory receptor cells. As you might imagine, dogs have an incredible sense of smell, and a total of about 1 billion olfactory receptor cells, hence why sniffer dogs are used in drug raids and at crime scenes. Smell is one of the most important, life-enriching senses that we rely on for so many of our daily activities. Without it, you would struggle not only to smell, but also to taste and make potent memories. I hope that after watching this video, you've learnt the basics of the mechanism of olfaction and picked up a few interesting facts along the way. Thanks for watching!